Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Tphaaox, and if you are returning subscribers, hi there, what is up? Today we are going to do my routine of how to get long-lasting full coverage makeup. Trust me, you will not need no touch-up. This is a routine or tutorial that I know works for me in the summer and in the winter, in the spring, in the fall. I just know it's gonna work. This is great for a special event, a date night, anywhere at home, honestly, where I am. In this tutorial, I'll be showing you guys techniques, tips, and tricks and the makeup products that work amazing for long-lasting makeup. For my eyes, I use the 18 Cool Tone Matte Essentials from Morphe on my eyes. If you guys do want to see a tutorial on that, let me know. Let me just stop talking and let's just go straight to the tutorial. But if you do like this video, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share it with everyone you know. So let's just get into it. So I did my eyes and my eyebrows off camera just to save time because we're going to focus on the base. And to start off, I like to start with a clean base with just skincare, maybe a sunscreen if I'm going out in the day, but in the night I typically don't. But the first step I'm going to do is apply my primer. So let's get into that. For my first primer and to hydrate my skin so my makeup looks good all day and all night, I'm going to take the Glow Recipe Watermelon Glow Niacinamide Dew Drops. This is just a really sticky, tacky primer that keeps your makeup or your skin hydrated throughout the day. And I seen my makeup just like glide right on using this primer. It's not too sticky, it's not too hydrating, too slick, and where my makeup could fall off. Oops, let me take off my tape. So I just use the Sephora face tape just to get a clean, sharp line. Like, look at that. Look how sharp that is. Anyways, focus on the skin. And I've been breaking out right here because it is that time of the month. So we're just gonna ignore that. Well, we can't ignore because she's here. But apply the primer all over my face, making sure that I get every part of my face, even under my jawline, because I do put, you know, contour on it. And when I wear long-lasting base, I like to make sure my texture is almost non-existent. Obviously, I have pimples and acne scars that are just going to be there. But to minimize those lines and pores, I'm going to take this Fenty Beauty Pro Filter Instant Retouch Primer. And what I like about using pore filling primer is just putting it where I need it. Not all around the face, just those targeted areas like my nose, my forehead, and my chin. I'm going to apply it right on the T-zone, basically, making sure that everything is smoothed out, blended, and mixed in together. Another great alternative to a pore filling primer is the One Size Secure the Blur Primer, I believe so. It makes your texture smooth. It looks like a filter is on your face. But today I'll be going in with the Fenty one, and this is what it looks like. As you can see, it doesn't mattify my skin. I don't know if you can see, it almost like fills in the pores just a little bit to get a flawless canvas for the foundation, and that's what we're about to do. Let me stop myself. Before I do foundation, I'm gonna go with an under eye primer from Milk Makeup, and this is their Hydro Grip Eye Primer. I just like it when I know I'm wearing like full coverage, and I definitely get lines creasing under my eyes. This just helps prevent, you know, majority of the lines from popping out. So I'm just gonna apply it right under my eyes, get close up to that lash line, making sure that the creases are applied onto. And I like to go in with 2 doe foot applications. And don't worry, we're gonna be blending this out with our fingers, so the finger will absorb some of the products, so don't worry about product buildup. Just make sure that you do apply it under your eyes or wherever you need a little bit more filling in the pores. And for this primer, you do have to let it sit. So that's why I apply it before my foundation and before my concealer, so that it can have time to just set and prime my under eyes. Now, like I said in the title and the intro, we want a long-lasting full coverage base, right? That's gonna make it just, you know, flawless all day. And the foundation that I'm going in is the Airbrush Flawless Foundation Stay All Day and Night from Charlotte Tilbury. Let me tell you, if you need a full coverage, girl, this is her. She covers everything, your past, your sins, everything. What I really like about this foundation is that it doesn't slip or grip onto any patches. Because it's so full coverage, it just covers it all up, and it looks like that all day if you're doing the right prime technique. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna apply 2 full pumps onto my face, and this is for like the entire face, okay, because it's full coverage. And then I'm going to spread it out with the back of my eyeliner brush and blend it in with a brush. So with foundations like this, I do not want to waste any product of this goodness, okay? So spreading it out evenly, I'm just spreading it out on my face. Spreading it thinly around my face will make sure that I get a more precise, accurate application, just so I know that my brush is not eating up the product or that I'm not using all the product I can. Because don't forget, this is an expensive foundation, so I'm trying to make every drop last. To get a long-lasting foundation base, I like to start off with a brush, knowing that I'm going to get the most coverage out of a brush instead of a sponge. That's just a technique that works for me. So I just make sure that I am buffing and tapping into the skin. I'm not swiping, I'm not dragging. This is just the way that I'm going to ensure that the foundation is, you know, stuck on and applied well. So as you can see, I like to start off on the bottom of my face because I do not want the most coverage down here. I want the most coverage on my cheek where I have acne, scarring, and redness. This is what the foundation looks like when it's all blended out with a brush. And as you can see, full coverage and just a really nice complexion product that I enjoy. So if I do not like how heavy it feels, because sometimes full coverage makeup is just sometimes heavy, I will go in with a wet sponge or a damp sponge to just ensure that my application is even. So that's exactly what I'm gonna do, and I'm gonna be using my Morphe sponge just to tap it all over my face. So I dampen the sponge, and what I'm gonna do is use the fat part of it or flat part of it, and I'm just gonna lightly go over it, pick up any of the excess foundation just so I can make sure that I do not have anything that looks too cakey. And then for concealer, I'll be taking the Urban Decay Stay Naked Quickie 24-hour Wear Multi-Use Concealer. Now this just dropped, but I have been enjoying this because it dries down into like a soft matte finish, which I enjoy. Honestly, who doesn't love soft matte? This channel is about soft matte. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna apply it where I put my concealers, so under my eyes. And for this concealer, you do not want to let it dry. Unless you have really oily skin, letting it dry will make it, you know, even more creamy. But if you have regular to dry skin, make sure that you blend it out, you know, right after you apply it, because it does dry down. And because I already used the Sephora eye tape, I do not need to clean up my eyeshadow. So I'm just gonna go straight in using the Morphe sponge again and dabbing it all over where I put my concealers. I blended out my concealer, and as you can see, the complexion products are just merging in together. You don't see any, you know, separation. You don't see the harsh lines. This technique really works well using a brush for foundation and then using a sponge for concealer just to get that airbrush, you know, smooth look. All right, now that we're done with concealer, we're gonna go on to cream bronzer. For cream bronzer, I'm gonna use the NARS Laguna bronzing cream. And to make sure that your makeup lasts all day is that you want to prep your powder products with cream products so you can get the most pigment and the most longevity. So I take this cream bronzer, it looks like this, and I take it with a thick blending brush, and I go where my cheekbones are. I apply it first like this, and then I'll go in blending it out just so I know where I want my placement to be. This cream bronzer is a little bit on the more cooler tone. Okay, that might be too much on my forehead. After I place my contour placements, I'm just gonna blend it in with the same brush. I go back to the sponge and I go around the contour, making sure the lines are blended. Not on top because we want to keep the pigment, but just around it, just to make sure everything blends in together. A key product in this makeup tutorial is the Rare Beauty liquid blush in Happy or all their liquid blushes, this is pigmented, it's creamy, and it just lasts all day long, and you only need like 1 dot for your whole face. I like 2 because the more the blush, the happier I am. So I just apply it right on top of my cheekbones, like literally 1 dot. As you can see, that's all you need. And with this is gonna make sure that I have a foundation for my powder blush. If you have not tried out the Rare Beauty liquid blushes, what are you doing? Stop this video and go grab it. If you like blush that's gonna last long, get it. If you like blush that makes you look so healthy and glowy, get it. If you just like liquid blush or blush in general, get it. This blush has just been like a staple in my makeup routine. This color obviously doesn't match my eye makeup, but because I love this blush color, using this with another shade of blush just makes it more enhanced, so I can see it even after powder. So as you can see, I'm blending it with a brush again for the maximum pigment or maximum payoff, and as you can see, it just blends into the skin so effortlessly and it looks beautiful. After I blended it all out, I'm gonna go in with powder, and this is the most important step in how to keep your makeup long lasting, longevity, elongated, ensuring everything to make sure this makeup stays on. I am a person who takes my powder so seriously because powder can either make or break a makeup look. These are the products that always make my makeup look flawless and it doesn't look cakey. So what I'm gonna go in with first, what I like to do to make sure my makeup lasts all day, is I go in with a loose powder and not a pressed powder first. And this is just an easier way to apply powder, making sure that it's evenly coated without making, you know, pressed powder, you know, patch onto other places that just you can't get off. So I like using the one size translucent loose powder, and I'm gonna go in with this with a triangle puff. And a key point of making powder look flawless on your skin is making sure that you blended everything where it is just into one. And as my eyes crease, you can see that the line is already forming. Take your sponge again and press against it, look up, and make sure that the creases are blended out before you apply powder. And with that, I take my Beauty Blender Triangle Puff. It is dirty. It's just dirty. I need to clean it, I know. But I take some of the powder, and I'll put it right here. Take some of the powder ever so gently, just a little, making sure that the top part of the triangle is coated. And obviously you don't want to go in with just this powder, or else your eye is just gonna like suck up all that moisture. Take it on the back of your hand or your palm and press it into your press it against your skin, making sure that the powder stays in the puff. So as you can see, this is how it looks like. And then I'm gonna go use my mirror and I'm gonna go into my eyes. I'm gonna make this face to puff out my under eyes and just go in very gently. We do not want excess powder to make our under eye look cakey. And there, you can see one eye is already powder, and you can see, if I can make my face ugly, you probably can see it better. You can barely see the creases in my eyes. After my under eyes are powdered, I will take the powder puff again and I'll just douse it in powder all over my face. So this is just gonna make sure that everything is packed in where I don't have to worry about, okay, I missed a spot. This is just gonna make sure that it is sticking onto my skin. And I'm just gonna go all around and I divide into sections, so I do bottom, middle, and top. And as you can see, this powder is beautiful. This powder does not give you flashback. It does not give you any creasiness. Well, it depends. And then it doesn't even feel heavy on the skin, honestly. It leaves your skin looking so beautiful, I'm telling you. I like to go in with several powders, but if you want to, you can wear this powder all by itself and it still looks so beautiful. And then moving on to the middle part, I start off where my nose is, because the most oily, so I'm gonna make sure that that part is powdered down. We do not want any oil to come through. We do not want to see any pores. After I set my face with a powder puff, I always go in with a brush using the same loose powder, but today I am going to be trying the Charlotte Tilbury pressed powders, and I'm just so excited because these are so creamy and they're always so highly rated. So I'm gonna try it under my eyes and around my face. Because these powders have a color to it, I like to go in with a brush so I can get the most pigment. And I'm just gonna take my Morphe V108 on this one, the shade One Fair, under my eyes. And this is gonna brighten up my under eyes just a little bit, not too crazy, and just set it again, making sure the makeup can last all day. So as you can see, my face is powdered down. It's completely flat and matte. So I take this double spray and I'm just gonna douse my skin in it. As you can see, I sprayed it all over my face. This is just going to give my skin a little bit more life and moisture so it doesn't look too flat. And as you can see, that spray gives just a little bit of a glow, and then I can go in with my other powder products. For my powder bronzer, I'll be using the Flawless Fusion bronzer powder from Kiko Milano in shade 05. And this is just like a perfect shade of cool tone and warm tone for me, getting a contour and warmth to my skin. And this is really nice because it's not completely matte. It has this lifelike sheen that gives your skin this like effortless, like this is like my real contour. And I like this because it just blends very, very smooth into my skin. This I do have to pack on a little bit, but it does last throughout the day. If your bronzer wears out, using a cream bronzer is definitely gonna make sure that it stays on. As you can see, I applied the powder bronzer, and I like to be bronze as hell, but as you can see, it's just very smooth. And I also contour my nose. I just like to go over like this or with a brush that is tiny and smooth. So with that, let's move on to blush. For blush, I've been loving these two mixing together, the Too Faced Cloud Crush and Tequila Sunset, and the Kiko Milano Unlimited Blush in 01. These are more on the peachy, orangey side, and it is a perfect peach blush combo that everybody needs. And what I like about these powder blushes is that they are pigmented and they last for a long time. I have oily skin, and so I like to powder my skin all the way. This just gives me life without losing pigment. So what first I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go in with the Too Faced one, and it looks like this, and now go in with my Kiko Milano one. A blush brush, I'm gonna dab it into the Too Faced one first, and I'm gonna apply it where I typically like where my blush is, and I have applied too much. Don't worry though, because we're gonna go over it with a powder brush to just blend everything together. So yep, I'm just gonna blend it into the back of my head like this in an upward motion, just so I can lift up this round face. And because we apply the Rare Beauty liquid blush, this blush is just like 10 times more pigmented. Without it, it would be pigmented, but it wouldn't be this pigmented. Then I'm going in with the Kiko Milano one, same brush. I'm going to apply it lightly around the blush so it can get a more hazy effect, where everything is just blended together. Do not worry if your blush looks like this if you apply too much. Just take a powder brush and go back with your face powder and just apply it right on top of the blush to, minimize the pigment. And this is just gonna make sure that everything looks blended together. Not too dramatic, but obviously we have makeup on, it's gonna be dramatic. And I'm just gonna blend it all over the blush to make sure that everything looks better together. And after we are done with the whole entire face, we are gonna set. And this is also another key factor in making makeup last super long, is a good setting spray. And I'll be going in with a Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless, you know what it is. I'll be applying it and then fanning my skin, and I'll be putting on the lip, and we'll be back to see the full face. All right, so I'm back with full face. Lashes are on, lips are on. Added a little more jewelry for a final touch, and this is my routine on how to get long-lasting full coverage makeup. Girls and boys, grandpas and grandmas, this is a routine that's gonna make your makeup last so long that you probably don't even need any touch-ups. I did everything with all the products, and all the products will be linked down below. If you guys want to see more, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Bye bye.